Hello, this is a message to anyone who feels like watching this video. The people who are subscribed to it, people who aren't. I want to give my fan awards at the end of the season, and I would love your input. Leave comments, send me messages, whatever, because I'm just doing from the fan perspective. Who do we feel deserve the most recognition? Because we all know that the press, they like to they have their own biases, and as an observer, these are the things that I see happening with these players. I mean, like when it comes to defensive player of the year, I only have 3 nominees because there's only 3 people who, in my opinion, really stood out that much. I mean, J.J. Watt, he does more than just get sacks. I mean, he's getting deflections, which lead to interceptions. Sometimes his pressure leads to hurried throws. I mean, he's creating turnovers. He's making plays himself. I mean, the Houston defense wouldn't only be half as strong if he wasn't on that roster. And then you've got Tillman and Jennings, who, both of them just keep creating turnovers. They've been machines this year. And so I felt like I had to mention them. They belonged in that category. And as far as comeback player of the year, everybody knows that it's between Peyton and Adrian Peterson, because they both came back from major injuries and they're doing something spectacular. I mean, Adrian Peterson, he had major reconstructive surgery in his knee, and then he was right back in time for the season opener, and he's been dominating all year. Adrian Peterson's the only one who could have a 200-yard game and not even get noticed for it. And then you have Peyon Manning coming back from major back and neck surgery that kept him out an entire season, and now to go on to a new team and leading them to the playoffs. I mean, these are both amazing feats, and it's really a race. You could make an argument for either of these guys. And for offensive rookie of the year, we're going to talk about the players that I included. And obviously, there's one name that I definitely left out, which is Ryan Tannehill, because he did not do enough to really make an impression on me as far as actually leading that team. I mean, the passing game has basically been nil over there, in my personal opinion. They relied more on defense and the running game for what little wins they do have. And here's who I'm looking at. We've got, first of all, Alfred Morris, who, because he's a 6th-round draft pick, playing a rookie playing for Mike Shannahan, as if that wasn't tough enough. Drafted in the 6th round, he had a little bit of luck with injuries and whatnot, but yeah, he just 6th-round draft pick comes out of nowhere and just starts every single game this season, over 1,000 rushing yards. It's just what he's accomplished has been amazing. It's a tough feat that a lot of running backs would not be able to pull off. And so I just feel like he deserves more recognition. All the attention is played to RG3. All the attention is paid to RG3, and no one really looks at him. But he's having himself a pretty good year. Looking at his stats, he has 1,106 rushing yards right now. The only 2 players with more rushing yards than him are Marshawn Lynch and Adrian Peterson. He's actually tied with Doug Martin. They've got identical rushing yards. Martin's done more, found the end zone more. He's done more receiving. But once again, when you consider what Alfred Morris has had to overcome, I mean, we all know Shanahan doesn't like sticking with halfbacks. I mean, these past 2 years, he's had 7 different players starting at the halfback position, and yet Alfred Morris, he's come in here and been number 1 all season. And and he's only fumbled twice this year. I mean, that's a feat to accomplish. Ray Rice and Trent Richardson are the only 2 halfbacks. Oh, and Steven Jackson. Those are the only halfbacks who don't have any fumbles this season. I mean, to put that in perspective, Bryce Brown, he started 2 games and had 4 fumbles. and Alfred Morris has started every game and had 2. So that's just, I feel like he deserves to be recognized. And of course, you've got RG3. He's been sensational all year, living up to expectations and surpassing them, making such plays that you're not even athletically capable of making. That it's amazing what he's been capable of doing. And then of course you have Andrew Luck, who's been he's been a tremendous asset to the Colts team that only won 2 games last season. 2. And now suddenly they're 8-4 in the middle of the playoff hunt, and it's just that's after their coach is left to battle leukemia, and we all figured that a 5-win season would be a huge step in the right direction, and here they are about to go into the playoffs, and it is so amazing what this young man has accomplished. In 5 of those games he led comebacks. 5 comeback victories as a rookie is an impressive thing to have on the resume, and he's only going to get better as he gets older. And of course you have Trent Richardson, who's had a pretty good season. He only has 827 rushing yards, but he does have 7 touchdowns, 339 receiving yards in the touchdown. Those are pretty decent numbers when you consider that he's a rookie who's playing for the Browns. He's had to battle injuries for some of the season. That's been a concern, and he's actually one of the long shots to win this. But he's had a pretty damn good season when you consider the fact that he's a rookie halfback playing for the Browns. So he definitely has to have consideration. And then you have also Doug. While we're on halfbacks, we'll look at Doug Martin really quick, because he's had a few huge games, and he's played fairly consistently all year. He is tied with Alfred Morris for 3rd with 1,106 yards. He has 9 touchdowns on the year. I believe Arian Foster's the only one who's had more. Arian Foster has 13 touchdowns. Then Doug Martin is tied for 2nd with Stephen Ridley with 9. So he's done a good job receiving. 374 receiving yards and a touchdown. Only Ray Rice, Darren Sproles, and Marcel Reese have had more receiving yards, and so that's some pretty good company to be in. And so he does deserve credit. He's performed extremely well all season long. And of course, one person that I did not think I'd be talking about is Russell Wilson. He's had a tremendously great season. He hasn't really broken a lot of records or anything, but they've been winning. They've been winning mostly with the running game and defense, but they have been winning. They are in the playoffs right now, and if they just keep winning, they will be in the playoffs. He's led a few comeback victories himself. Some of them controversial, but no, he's played well this season. I'd say that Wilson and Richardson are probably like the long shots to win it. More than likely it'll be Morris, RG3, Luck, maybe Martin. But Wilson and Richardson definitely deserve recognition for what they have done, stepping into the spotlight and helping and putting up some pretty decent numbers, helping their teams win games. And that's why they are my picks. And you can make so many arguments for a lot of these other players that are in the league, but these are just my favorites. If you think that there's someone else who deserves the recognition, then you go ahead and tell me. I'm willing to listen to any of your suggestions, any of your opinions, as long as you give me a well-formulated argument. Just, you can't get mad for me picking somebody that I like when you never told me who you liked, in order for me to put it into consideration. So, there you go. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of The Fan Perspective, where I will do the second half of my week 14 predictions. And also, I wanted to let you know that after week 14, for the last 3 weeks of the season, I will only be doing predictions for games that have playoff implications. So, well, good luck for the rest of the season. Happy Friday.